Primo.
And I'm Ehu, and today we will be making 3 dishes. Today you won't only be learning how to make these dishes,
You'll be learning some of the science behind the dishes.
and maybe some history thrown in there as well.
Let's get started. The pesto and the dressing are both personal recipes, and for these you'll need
The only equipment you will need is a food processor or blender. First, put the basil, walnuts, garlic, and salt in the food processor and process while adding the olive oil in a slow, steady stream. Add the nutritional yeast and lemon juice. For this part, you'll pulse the processor to combine.
Now combine all the ingredients for the dressing. Put all your ingredients into the jar that you initially put the olive oil in. Shake well to combine. The science behind the dressing and the pesto are pretty similar, involving the interaction of acids and oils. Oils and acids are made of 2 very different molecules. Acids like vinegar, which are usually found in salad dressing, are made up of polar molecules. This means that each molecule is like a little magnet, one end with a negative charge and one end with a positive charge. These polar molecules are hydrophilic, meaning that they love water and want to stick to other water molecules, which are also polar. Like a lot of little magnets, all the polar molecules want to stick together.
But oil molecules are very different. Oils are, of course, a type of fat, and fats are made of really long chains of glycerol molecules called fatty acids. The glycerol molecules are often found hanging out in groups of 3, called triglycerides. Fatty acids share electrons evenly, and thus are either entirely positively or negatively charged. They don't have poles like acids do. These non-polar molecules love to stick together when mixed with water, like in the vinegar in salad dressings, and since they don't like water, they're called hydrophobic.
So, you may be wondering, if polar molecules and nonpolar molecules hate each other so much, then how do you get them to mix properly in salad dressing and in pesto? The answer? Emulsions. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Well, it really isn't all that complicated. Basically, what an emulsifier does is attract and hold hands with both polar and nonpolar molecules. Emulsifiers contain both hydrophobic and hydrophilic regions, and they pull the oil and acids together to create a solution called an emulsion. Now, in the dressing we're using today, we don't have any vinegar, so there are no strong acids. So, we will not be needing an emulsifier to mix the salad dressing properly.
Now we'll let these 2 sauces sit and begin prepping the chicken. Dice the chicken into 1-inch cubes and season with salt and pepper. Because the pesto has such a strong flavor from the garlic, you won't need much seasoning.
Take a 12-inch frying pan and spread the oil onto the surface. Since we won't be using a nonstick pan, it's fine to heat the pan first and then add the olive oil. Tumble the diced chicken into the hot pan and sear until golden brown. You may not know this, but as you're cooking the chicken, the protein inside the chicken is coagulating. This process is also known as denaturing. At the molecular level, protein molecules are shaped like lots of little springs or coils. When exposed to heat, salt, or acid, these coils unwind. This process is called denaturing. As they denature, they tend to clump together into globs. This is called coagulation. As it coagulates, it also browns. This is called the Maillard reaction and has to do with rearranging certain amino acids into simple sugars that refract the light, giving the meat a brown appearance.
Boiling pasta is very simple, but there's actually a lot of science that goes on in the pot. You'll need to take a medium-sized pot and fill it about 2/3 of the way with room temperature water. Turn the element to high heat and bring the water to a rolling boil.
Pasta is made out of a combination of eggs, flour, and water. This produces carbohydrates and proteins, which are 2 chemical compounds. When cooking, water is absorbed by the starch particles. The protein then forms a web around the starches and keeps them inside of the noodles. This is how the noodles cook, but also stay the same shape that they were when dried. While the chicken is cooling, assemble the salad. This part is very straightforward. Chop the lettuce into a chewable size. Don't forget to wash the leaves. Cut your avocado and blood orange into 1/2 to 1 inch cubes.
The easiest way I think you can go about cutting an avocado is like this. Make a slice straight through the avocado to the core, then rotate your avocado around the blade, separating the halves when you're done.
By now your pasta noodles should be done. Take the water off the heat and strain the noodles into a colander. Obviously, you want to do this over a sink.
While the chicken and pasta are cooling, we'll begin to work on the mousse parfait. In a small saucepan, heat the milk on medium to low heat until scalding. You do not want to boil the milk.
After scalding, pour the hot milk over the chocolate. Add the vanilla and salt. You'll now let this stand for about 3 minutes to let the ingredients soften.
Scalding milk is to heat it to about 82 degrees Celsius or 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Milk consists of fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Within the protein is casein and whey protein. Scalding causes the whey proteins to denature and makes the milk better for combining with yeast. It basically smooths out the texture. You might be wondering why we add salt to sweet recipes. When sodium is present, this moves glucose into the sweet taste cell. This triggers the cell to register the sweetness, thus bringing out the flavor without adding more sugar.
Now let's finish up the pasta. Take the pan with the chicken and move it back to the burner on low heat, just enough to ensure that it doesn't go cold. Your pasta noodles should be at a more manageable temperature now. Put these in and also add the pesto sauce and mix with the chicken. Mix together on low heat until both the pasta and the chicken are fully coated with the pesto. Add more olive oil if necessary.
Toss together the salad ingredients and drizzle the dressing over.
Now you're almost done. The last part is to finish and layer the dessert.
Now take a cup and layer the bottom with the chocolate mixture. Then layer the top of the chocolate with strawberries. Repeat this until the cup is full.
While you don't have to, we chose to add a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top just to bring out some of the sweetness, as the chocolate is very rich and can be bitter to some. And you're done.